Mario games to ever exist, I don't think Mario Bros. 3 was the best one. I love Mario games, I just think a lot of the other titles eclipse this one. Growing up, I kind of just adopted the fact that Mario 3 is one of the best and most revered games to ever grace a mortal's video game cabinet. Like every hotel room nightstand has a Bible, Mario Bros. 3 should be in every Nintendo collector's nightstand so we can pray to the overall oligarch whenever we need a bit of extra life. And seriously, Mario's totally an oligarch. Like, we keep paying full price for his games, even though they've been out as long as Mr. Christ's best-selling novel. I even bought the same Testament a total of technically 6 times. I have the OG Mario 3, the Game Boy Advance re-release, the Mario 3 that has enhanced visual splendor because it's a part of Super Mario All-Stars, the Wii Edition, the Virtual Console version on the Wii, the NES Classic version, and finally the latest iteration, the free-to-play online version of the game on Nintendo Switch's online service. That right now costs $24.99. Now is that really free? Also, you may start to realize that it's a habit of mine to rebuy the same game when it has shiny new packaging. I do it with Zelda, and I do it with Mega Man. Why do I do it with Mario 3 if I played the game a total of 3 hours throughout my entire life? So I sought to rectify my Mario madness by giving the game an actual go. Okay, first world, this is going great. Oh, first mini boss level. Wait, Roger, don't do it, don't give in, don't get the magic flute that teleports you through the whole game. Rod, you're so weak. Okay, first world, this is going great. Oh, first mini boss level, wait. What? I'm not gonna get that magic flute. I wrote the instruction booklet on gaming with integrity. Now, does that mean I can't use the new save state features while playing the game on Nintendo Online to memorize how to match all the cards in this minigame to build up my item ammo? That's not the same thing as counting cards. Now, while I'm on the subject of minigames, something I love about this game is the item houses. I love amassing as many power-ups as I can to transform myself into a one-man Mario army. Something I can never get right are these minigame houses. There's only 3 images, and I still can't match them all up. It's like the casino incident all over again. Dale, why do you always screw me over? And while we're on the subject of screwing people over, if the fuzz happen to show up unannounced, can you let them know that you were legally adopted? Another thing I like about this game is how this one's like, hey, with this magic raccoon gear, you won't be limited to platforming on the ground. Let's take things to the skies. They also have Bowser's Kids and flying airships, which, along with the flying ability, really suggests to me that Nintendo wanted the player to feel literally like the sky's the limit in terms of where they could explore when compared with the first 2 Mario titles. Also, going back to Bowser's Kids, they're big into political commentary, aren't they? They go to pay a visit to all the world leaders and turn them into the animals that they really are. If you were to do this with Trump, he'd actually turn into a toad. And not the kind princesses would kiss to turn them into princes. The kind porn stars would kiss to ruin Mario Kart. So Mario 3 has a world for each of Bowser's children and Bowser. Like, there's the generic ice world and desert world, but what I like is that they have some more unique worlds. There's a world where everything is 10 times their normal size. There's a world that's just focused on the pipes you usually travel through, being a surreal plumber. And there's a world you climb a giant fortress midway through to get to the last half of the world in the sky. Plus, it's suggested from the get-go and the end of every level that this whole game is actually a big stage play. Personally, I love that. Now, one thing I don't really love are the bosses. They all stay the same for the most part, especially the mini-bosses, which stay the exact same. The only thing that's supposed to make them more challenging is when their chambers get filled with more blocks, possibly making it harder to jump on them. What are these Koopas even called? Boom Boom. Boom Boom is what the Venga Boys wanted me to do in their rooms. And it's what my grandfather says I shouldn't do before I'm married, or I'll go to hell. I mean, I've lost my Venga Boys tape anyway, so what's the point of being alive? It sucks that the bosses aren't boss though, because the levels that lead up to them get progressively tougher and more creative. Boom Boom eventually just gets a pair of wings, and the Koopa kids mainly fight the same way too. Now, as it turns out, my grandfather was right. I've boom boomed at least a dozen times on my travels through the Mushroom Kingdom. And where did it land me? This place is called the Dark World if you want to get all PG about it, but we all know it's just the place the internet is going after the whole Bowser thing. Before you reach the final boss, you'll have to travel armies of tanks, sail across the river Styx, and take to the skies before you can reach the first level. And that's not mentioning the weird bridge you have to cross where the perils you face are completely up to fate. Eventually you'll reach Bowser's abode, which has f***ing lasers. Where can I buy that instead of paying for homeowners insurance State Farm? Once you get past the security system, you make your way past typical terrors and some even more security to reach what is, to me, one of the best parts of the game. Bowser. The music amps up. The boss pattern is different compared to the rest, and it's oh so satisfying to get Bowser to ground pound his way to the grave. Once Bowser goes bye-bye, a door opens up. Was Peach watching banned episodes of Pokemon this entire time? You get in, and Peach is all, "Thank you, but our princess is in another castle." Just kidding! Bye-bye! Don't be playing me like that. I just played this game longer than I ever have to rescue you. And much to my dismay, that was it. That's the end of the game. Now that I played this whole game through, I kind of begrudgingly have to admit that this is one of the, I'd say one of the best Mario games I've played. The only thing I really disliked were how repetitive the bosses were. Other than that, I loved exploring all the levels and finding lots of hidden secrets, of which there's probably a crap ton I still haven't found. And I could go on, but I'd just be saying more positive things about the game that everyone else has already said. So I think I'll say this. I shouldn't have been as pessimistic as I was about this game. Like, I played this game through the years growing up with friends and had a great time, but like, just because a game is a staple doesn't mean it's necessarily stale. You can't compare Mario 3 to this loaf of bread. Brad? Oh, Brad's sexy loaf. Look at those cute dimple Myers. This bread will get moldy in a few days, but Mario 3 just keeps getting better. Nowadays, I can save and continue whenever I want. Maybe that's why I hardly played the game. You couldn't save and continue whenever you wanted originally. That was the reason I disliked Star Fox 64. I think working this out, talking through this, I realized that I'm a little bitch who needs modern conveniences and rougher situations, in this case, older video games, because I don't really like camping, but I love glamping. Graphics don't really matter to me as long as the game's fun to play. That's all I like. And I like me some Mario, from the first one to Odyssey. But yeah, I really enjoyed Mario 3 a crap ton. I just can't rough it in video games. Like, I need a save feature for big adventures like these. What's your guys' favorite Mario game? Or better yet, what game have you guys kind of shelved that you would want to give another chance? Also, how the f did Bowser have septuplets, and why don't they have their own show on TLC?